logical, topical points that can stem from the thing that she says. For example, she says, I'm from Chicago, and your brain, oh, Chicago, and you start thinking like, okay, Chicago, you start trying to do like an association. Chicago, oh, Chicago-style hot dogs, Windy City, Cubs fan, the Bears, Lake Michigan, the beach out there, Wicker Park. I lived in Chicago for a brief stint, so I've got a little more Chicago ammunition. But your brain starts looking for these topical things that the words like remind you of. It's what you do when you're nervous and you're struggling to think of something to say. What we like to say to do is paint the picture. And what that means is that you basically take whatever she said and you imagine, you paint a picture of her doing it, of your entire life's past experience involved with your own self doing these things. For example, I know it's a little abstract. For example, a girl says, I went to Mexico. 4 words. So if you're trying to struggle to think of something to say based off those 4 words, you don't have much to go off of. Your mind is racing. Let's see, Mexico, beaches, I don't know. What are some other things? What are some other topical things that you think of when you think of Mexico?
Cabo.
What's that?
Cabo.
Cabo? Tequila. Yeah, easy. It's the way guys think. It's the way guys relate to each other. Topical things. Oh, yeah. See that baseball game last night? Why not? We're dudes. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to relate to the woman, if you want to talk to her, you have to speak personally. You have to make it personal. You have to start painting the picture. So when a girl says to me, I went to Mexico, I'm painting a picture of her experience and I'm recalling my past life experience with something similar. My train of thought is going to go something like this. My train of thought is going to be, oh, well, was this a spur-of-the-moment decision that you made, or was it something that you've been planning out for a while? Did you pack at the last minute like I always do? Or did you plan your trip a couple months in advance? Was your flight delayed? Like, flights happen to be delayed quite a bit now. How long was the flight again? Because I'm not even sure how long that flight to Mexico. It's probably pretty rocky. Did you watch some movies on the plane? Did you just sleep? Or were you so excited that you couldn't sleep? Did you have a shot of tequila when you hit international waters? When you landed, did they lose your luggage, or was your luggage actually all there in one piece? You're a girl, so you probably overpacked quite a bit, didn't you? That's what girls do. It happens. No problem with that. You have to look pretty. I respect that. Did they have a mariachi band playing in the airport when you got off? And not to be stereotypical, but that's the only song I could think of. What was your trip like? Was it, were you just laying on the beach the whole time? Were you going out, getting hammered every single night? Were you trekking through the jungle, climbing waterfalls and zip-lining and hiking and, looking at monkeys swinging through trees? What type of girl are you? Discovering old, ancient Aztec ruins, or maybe a combination of all of them. How long were you there for? At the end of your trip, were you anxious to get back? Were you homesick? Were you tired? Were you just wanted to come back? Or could you have stayed another week? Did you never want to come back? Were you thinking about moving there? Trip back, was it all right? Did you sleep back on the plane? When you got back, were you refreshed, excited to go face the day and face your life? Or did you need a vacation from your vacation? What was your favorite part of the trip? If you could go back there, would you do it exactly the same again, or would you change some things? Painting a picture. And here's what the principle is based off of, is that you guys all have lived at least what? Who's the youngest guy here? 18? Anyone who's 18 here? Anyone who's 19 here? Okay. You guys have all lived at least 19 years on this planet. 21 tonight, but you guys have all lived at least 19 years on this planet. You have a wealth of experience to draw from, living in our generation, in our part of the world, in some part of the world, on planet Earth. And it's logical that her, being a human being on this planet, in our culture of sorts, has had pretty similar experiences growing up as you did. I used to love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Saved by the Bell when I was growing up. Chances are there's going to be a lot of girls out there who like the same thing. I can take a wild guess. So anything she says, if I scroll through my back history of experience with it, I can probably have at least one thing that she can relate to. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes she could say something that I have no experience with, I'm completely clueless with. And when that happens, I now have an awesome opportunity for her to teach me something with genuine curiosity. I don't know anything about that. You have to tell me all about it. You're going to be my resident expert for, I don't know, whatever she's talking about. And if I say something, if whatever she says reminds me of something in my life experience, and she's never heard of it before, I'm like, what? How have you never heard of blank? Are you serious? They're the greatest band in the world. Are you kidding? What's wrong with you? What planet did you grow up on? You tracking through, painting the picture, going through your history, you will always have something you can connect with. And because it's genuine, because it came from you actually listening and pausing and thinking and buffering, giving yourself some more time to, buffering again, maybe she might say something which can bring through another million things that you could possibly think of. You should never run out of things to say, and everything you say will be pertinent, will be valuable, will make her really light up and excited, because very few guys actually do listen. It's scary. I want to give an example of how universally this can be used. And the example I like to use is taking the most boring possible thing that a girl could possibly say to you and show that even with that, if you paint a picture, you've still got not a million things, but you still got quite a good many things that you could say. And I've heard this one time and time again. If there's one thing I've heard that a girl could say that is more blah, like she's just saying that, she doesn't give two shits, it's if I were to say, so what are you guys up to tonight? Because I usually like to start with boring interview questions. What are you guys up to tonight? Because girls are expecting it. It's the way that people usually communicate. It's the way that the man of her dreams that she's always imagined is going to talk to her. But the difference is, instead of every other guy that just goes down the list, oh, that's cool, what do you do? Oh, that's cool, where are you from? Oh, that's cool. I'm actually going to listen. My response to whatever her response be is going to be different than anything she's ever heard before in that situation. That's where I get their attention. So one of my favorites is, so what are you guys up to tonight? And the most common boring response that you'll probably ever get is, oh, we're just hanging out. Oh, we're just chilling. Not much really, just hanging out. Right? Could there be a more boring response that a girl could possibly give you to a question? Probably not. So I want to paint the picture with this, because I believe that if we take the most boring example and show that there's still a million things you can say, that anything that a woman could possibly say, you could have a million things to say, never running out, especially with the pausing, buffering, pausing. You have to do that. That's unbelievable. So we're just hanging out. We're just chilling. Anybody want to shout out something right here? When you can think back about you and your friends just hanging out, just chilling, your own life experience with this thing that she said, what it calls to mind, what it reminds you of, what are some possible things that pop up? Anybody, just shout it out.
Watching movies.
Out at the bar specifically. Yes, I definitely do that with friends, but when you're out at a bar, maybe out at a drinking location with some friends, what does that night look like?